How you guys doing this weekend? This is your boy Phil Jones. This is your boy Phil Robinson III over here, and welcome to another great episode of the Unfiltered Truth. Hope you guys got your stimmy this week. I know I did.
It's been a busy week.
It's been a busy week for everyone. I mean, I'm telling you, you had your money coming in. You had St. Patty's Day. You got turned up. Had free agency going on. Creative young minds. They had their games going on this past week, this past Friday, and then yesterday they had a game Friday. I'll get into that starting next week, but it's been jam-packed, dude. Good morning, Herman. How you doing? Mr. Rodriguez, how you doing? Kevin, how you doing? So I keep forgetting, y'all on the West Coast is morning.
Morning.
For me, it's afternoon. We just starting hitting 12 noon. Hope you guys are enjoying your morning. Hope you enjoying your afternoon. I know some of you guys have already had your brackets destroyed by this NCAA tournament already. Thoughts and prayers. Because I know mine just got destroyed like in 20 minutes of it. So I just said, screw it. But other than that, we got a lot to dig into. And as always, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the Unfiltered Truth page on YouTube. Subscribe to our Facebook page, The Unfiltered Truth. And you guys can follow us on Twitter, The Unfiltered Truth. If you guys are interested in creative young minds, these young gentlemen, they are, what's the word I can say? They are literally undiscovered talent that is playing basketball. They've been invited to join this the basketball league, where it's spreading all through the South, to the West, and to the Midwest as well. And this is a new style of sports for us on the U.S. It's more of how Euro basketball is played, EuroLeague. And these young men are playing with guys that are older than them. They could be like 17 or 18. You're playing against somebody that's 25, 28. And I feel that makes you a better basketball player. And you get to learn different things. I mean, let's be real, Phil. You saw what LeVar Ball did with his kids, and you see how Melo's doing.
It's a return to, yeah, absolutely. With the creative young minds, it's a return to fundamental basketball. What we've seen throughout the association and college basketball, for that matter, is an over-reliance on the three ball and the highlight reel, and less of the basketball purity. And so with basketball is a simple game, especially when you're fundamentally solid. And a return to fundamentals will only benefit the entire product of the association and basketball as a whole, because you'll be able to see guys who can mix that over-the-top highlight level athleticism with being fundamentally rock solid like legends of the past. And all that's going to do is just continue to make for better basketball viewing experiences.
And if you guys are more interested in that, you guys can follow them on Twitter at CYM Basketball. You can follow them on Instagram at CYM.LouisvilleLeopards, and on Facebook at CYM B-Ball. Their last game was one of the games last week. They had a game yesterday. I had a recap for you guys, probably Sunday or Monday. The undiscovered team, they defeated the Phenoms 83-61. You had the PSC Prospects defeat the Louisville Blacks 63-54. The Pros defeated the Prospects 87-74. Those are the little minor teams that they have and that they're connected, and then they'll be branching off towards like the summer league, where they're playing against a whole bunch of different squads. So you'll be able to see some squads out on the West Coast. But as always, when you look for the undiscovered team, the usual names that pop out that are playing, in the words of Farnsworth Bentley, fantastically well.
fantastically well.
Jared Henderson totaled out with 22 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. Mike Lenore, who I felt that he should have been drafted this past year in the 2020 NBA draft. He scored 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Chase Winchester, I'm telling you this is your outside perimeter shooter. I still, to this day, do not get why he should have got. I mean, we look at guys that we've had on this show, even in the college football, like Trey Boston. To this day, we still don't get why he did not get drafted. We understand that there are guys that are out there from small schools that are actually better than some of the guys at some of these top schools. But you look at guys like I said, Trey Boston, you saw what he did in the XFL. He balled out. I hope he gets back. They restarted back up. But guys like him and Chase Winchester, when it comes down to basketball and this, he's on point. He averaged what? He had 10 points, 2 rebounds, 4 steals in that game. But I'm telling you, when he gets out there, you set him up for that shot, bro. It's on point. Lewis Patterson, 13 points. Charmaine Thomas had 17 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 steal. And then from the Phenoms, their leading scorer from Texas Southern University was Michael Williams, 19 points, 1 rebounds. From the CYM Academy, Abernather, they call him Biggie. This guy 7 foot with a 7'8" wingspan, had 8 points, 10 rebounds. So that's going to be a guy to keep an eye on. But these young men, they're about the fundamentals. And another thing, down in Texas, down in Louisville, Texas, they're about helping the community out. They've done so much, especially what went on when they had the snowstorm down there. These guys are getting the elderly groceries, getting them food and water. They're going above and beyond, not even thinking of themselves. They went and say, hey, what do you need me to do? I got it. We got it. They were on point. That's what we need to hear about young men in the communities nowadays. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear those positive vibes. Phil, I think by Monday I'm trying to put together a little a highlight reel, like all the stuff they've done in the community, as well as putting together their top highlights that they've shown over the past couple of weeks in their games. But dude,
I look forward to seeing it. Look forward to seeing it all and seeing this exploratory league continue to grow and build up and become a national thing. Because
they deserve more recognition than what they're getting. I mean, these are guys, and it's also guys that have played in the NBA and G League, and you had some of the scouts that have came out and said these guys are enough to come into the league now. And I tell you one guy from the pros, CJ Carter. CJ Carter went off in the game against the Prospects, getting 28 points. And then Sterling Sanders also went off, having 31 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. These guys can play. And I think when this league expands out even more, once it gets started out for this for year one, you know how we had Ice Cube's league, right?
The Big Three.
Yeah, you had the Big Three. It kept people entertained while the season was ending for NBA. But now that you're going to be able to have this going on, and with the way things went with the NCAA this past year, with COVID and then the tournament, if your whole team gets COVID, you basically forfeit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hot mess. I mean, these guys are going to be able to start playing during the summer, And I think mostly everybody be vaccinated by then, and we can have a whole new season of basketball going on, watching these guys play, and you're getting your money's worth. And if you're interested in watching it, I think I still got the banner right here.
Yes, sir. Right across the bottom.
No, that's the Twitter page. I got
I have the Facebook page as well.
Yeah. I got the link to where you can watch the games. So if you want to watch the games, go to creatingyoungminds.uscreen.io. You go there, you're going to have to register. It's not that much. I mean, you're only paying about, I think, $14 to like watch the entire season, but it's worth it. You're going to be donating to their cause. And then these guys, they're coming out with their own designer sweats. Actually, they got some shoes that look like they're getting ready to come out with. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be getting more info on their clothing line, getting ready to come out for Creating Young Minds. And I might rock one of them jerseys. I might have to line out and shoot the J.
And miss horribly.
I'm not going to miss horribly. I'm telling you, man. Look, I don't make my free throws like Shaq, okay?
He didn't either. So, I mean, what's your point?
You know what I meant. Shut up. But hats off to those gentlemen and the hard work they put in each and every day when it comes down to practice, them getting ready for this basketball league and the games that they currently play each and every week and what they do in the community. So hats off to the Creating Young Minds, the Louisville Leopards, Louisville Blacks, and what they do. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have guessed it. It is the end for the Raiders. Oh, my gosh. Oh, the Raiders went and signed this guy. The Raiders went and signed that guy. I don't like that. Why didn't we get Juju? Why didn't we get... shut up. Look, the Raiders, they've done a solid job during free agency. They have addressed the D-line. They addressed, they went and re-signed Nicholas Morrow back. So, I mean, you got your linebackers. You got your 3 linebackers because, I mean, if you really want to kick them to the outside, you can go in and do that. The Raiders get their guy at edge, Yannick Ngakoue. I've been waiting for that. Rich says Periscope's been freezing too much. Hey, if your Periscope is freezing, just come on to our YouTube page or go on to our Facebook page. You know what? I'll give you guys the link to the Facebook page right now, and I'll put up on my Twitter.
Because we need all the Facebook and YouTube support we can get. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. You'll get live notifications of all our content. It'll all be archived. You can be able to watch any episode of your choice. Go back and see how bad we messed up, how right we were all the way from the beginning, and it'll be wonderful. Unfiltered truth content at the touch of your fingers.
Here you guys go. So like I said, if the Periscope's freezing up on you guys, I know they're getting ready to get rid of Periscope. Here's our Facebook page right here. I put it at the top if you guys are looking to get into it right now. So stand by. But Phil, while I'm doing this right now, tell the folks your thoughts on getting Yannick Ngakoue.
Yannick Ngakoue is a game changer. In fact, I got a little bit of his numbers right here. The most important numbers that you continue to hear about are the fact that since 2016, he's had 40-plus sacks and 18 forced fumbles. That's a lot. That's a lot. And we love it when guys are in the backfield making it happen. 33 tackles for losses in the last 3 years. And in terms of sacks, he's had 8, 8, and 9.5. And for QB hits, it's been 11, 15, and 33. in the last 3 years. Yannick Ngakoue came into this league as a rookie under Gus Bradley in Jacksonville and made a name for himself all the way up until the time that they drafted the other Josh Allen. And Yannick is an edgy player. He's a cocky guy. He's a guy that believes in himself. He's a guy that demands more from his teammates. And he's a guy that plays hard. There's no question about his desire. There's no question about his commitment. And most importantly, there's no question about his production. And the Raiders have been trying to acquire him. John Gruden loves him just for his personality and his production and the fact that he's not going to allow guys who can't play to run their mouths. Now, we could bring up some old ancient history, but teammates aren't supposed to bag on teammates, and so we'll just leave it at that. But Yannick is the edge rusher, the young edge rusher, because he's only 25, mind you, that the Raiders desperately need. A proven guy, a guy that is known, respected, and lightweight feared around the league, and I would have said the best pickup that they had all off season, but then they signed Kenyon Drake. And they did, and the reason why Kenyon Drake is the best move they've made so far is because they're not paying him $13 million a year. But going back to Ngakoue, I'm pumped about this. When they signed him, I was juiced. I was happy. I was like, finally, we got a guy who spends most of his time in the opponent's backfield, causing havoc, coming off the edge, chopping the ball. Quarterbacks don't feel comfortable when he's around. They always have to know where he's at. And most importantly, it'll allow other guys, it'll allow a better rotation so that Crosby isn't playing 98% of the snaps and that Cleveland can slide in and out, up and down the line. No pun intended. And just you can have a much better matchup football across the defensive line. And so, once again, this is a huge signing for the Raiders.
Well, not even that, Phil. I mean, yes, that's definitely a huge signing, but the Raiders also have David Irving, and he's back and he's healthy, and they got him for a good deal. The Raiders are set on that D-line. You bring back Jonathan Hankins, and I think they're going to just use Jonathan Hankins as, I don't know, your guy to be just your one technique.
Yeah, one technique. Your big boy in the middle that's just eating blockers and clogging lanes.
Now, the other thing, you look at Quinton Jefferson. Quinton Jefferson, he can play outside, inside, but he's better inside. But we also signed Solomon Thomas, who's better inside. When you look at when he started with the 49ers, wasn't that great on the outside as a defensive end, but when they put him inside, he was creating plenty of pressure, getting to the quarterback. Phil, that is what we lacked of last year. The Raiders are addressing that.
Well, it's debate. When you look at the grand scheme of things, a lot of things that get misconstrued is the reality of pressure versus sacks. In terms of getting pressures and hurrying the quarterback, the Raiders were a middle of the pack defense.
Oh my gosh!
What?
Hold up. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Raiders just signed Nevin Lawson to a 1-year deal.
Well, I wouldn't have did it, but
I mean, come on, you really going to sign Nevin Lawson to a 1-year deal here? I mean, you could have used that money towards getting another free agent. But yes, I mean, Kevin, as he said, that does not mean he's going to make this team. Wholeheartedly agree. You need depth. I get that. You're not sure about Keyshawn Nixon. in his maturity level. I will say that about Lawson. He's a little bit mature than Nixon, but I was not expecting that. Not at all. But so far, you look at what the Raiders have on this defense, and then you're going to start to wonder. You got Gus Bradley. You have a better teacher that can develop guys. He developed guys on that Chargers defense that we were like, oh, we can dog him when we play them.
Nope.
They shutting down our receivers. They're slowing them down.
Making them look like nobodies. Some punks. Straight up punks. Nevin Lawson.
You ain't got that.
I mean, if anybody can make something out of make what's the word I'm looking? Chicken salad out of chicken shit, it's gonna be Ron Miles and Gus Bradley. So Nevin Lawson is around the ball. I guess that physically, I can't even lie. I'm not.
I mean, what do you expect?
Oh,
I like what Kevin's saying. Kevin keeping it positive, and sometimes we got to keep it positive.
You do.
Miller, he turned Davis, number 43, into a dog at corner last year. I mean, this could be that awakening that Nevin Lawson needed his entire career. But again, we don't know if he'll make the team or not. You're just getting bodies. But as Amari just said, no need to waste time talking about Nevin Lawson. But I was talking about Solomon Thomas. I like him inside. I like him to be that guy that you can have right next to Maurice Hurst, or it could be Quinton Jefferson, or just a rotation in general. Having those two, we have guys that can literally rotate in and out, that can bring speed and versatility to the outside as well. We didn't have that. And we got a couple guys that are good in run support as well. We didn't have that, Phil.
No, we did not. We definitely did not have guys who were solid in run support. We definitely didn't have guys who were pushing the pocket or getting off the ball. What I've noticed about these particular defensive moves is that your 3 technique is averaging about 280 pounds. So they're going with a slightly lighter defensive line, but one that is proven to be stronger. And so these are better, I'll say better all-around athletes, more physically efficient athletes than the guys that they previously had. You got guys who are known to push the pocket, to collapse the pocket, guys who have physically graded out as the tops at their positions for what it is that they do. Quinton Jefferson has the 7th highest pass rush win rate out of all defensive linemen in the league. But he was hiding? He was behind Ed Oliver and a couple other guys in Buffalo.
He got rotated in and out.
Right, but he was. But when you look at just off the 7th highest pass rush win rate, that could tell you right there that that's a rotational piece that you got coming in. Maurice Hurst was one of their better pass rushing defensive tackles as well. And so you got guys that can come in and do different things. Solomon Thomas can help Hankins in the run game, do a little bit, see what he can revive, if he can revive himself in the passing game, and just guys that you can continue to circulate. David Irving can slide up and down the line as well. He can play edge. He can play defensive tackle. Gruden had made a comment about Eric Armstead and 6'7", 3 techniques being rare. Now he has one.
No, you're right. Because when you look at his defense right here, and I'll use, you're saying like the weight and size of the defense. I'm looking at prime examples. So I'm going back to 20. Let's go back to like the 2018 defense. 286. You look at Hankins, he's about what? 330, 340 right now. Yeah, so like he had Brandon Mingbang about 320.
Mm-hmm.
And right off the bat, you're thinking about that. You're like, okay, so Melvin Ingram's about 260, well, like 260. And you look at that with Farrell, and then you look at that with Yannick Ngakoue. Was Joey Bosa was Joey Bosa about what, 270, 280?
Looking it up right now.
But the fact of the matter is he's trying to mold this defense into his image, and he's doing it now. You don't have John Gruden getting in the way of things.
Joey Bosa's 280.
Okay. So if you look at our defense, what's Yannick Ngakoue's weight?
246.
Little light.
He's playing the Leo position, so he's not your prototypical defensive end. He's more of a hybrid who just gets to rush every play.
And this is another thing I like by Kevin. He has a player profile by position. I like that. So guys like Arden Key, to be honest, I don't see that's going to end up sticking around this year. I think I think he's one of the odd men out. Mo Hurst, he's going to have to step it up. He's going to have to like bulk up a little bit. Maybe he needs to get some muscle on him, because if I'm the Raiders going towards the draft, when it comes down to the draft, there's a guy that I like out of Pittsburgh. You can probably get him in the second or third round.
I like coming out of Pittsburgh too. We're talking about the same guy.
Are we talking about the same guy? Is that Jalen Twyman?
Jalen Twyman, the guy who trains with Aaron Donald, the guy who broke Aaron Donald's records, the guy who broke Aaron Donald's bench record.
Yes.
The guy, a 300-pounder with a 32.5-inch vertical.
40.
I don't give a shit about
42 reps.
I get 40. I believe it was just 40.
40 or 42, yeah.
It was 40.
Like I sat in on a pro day and I was just like, dear God, he's not slowing down. He's not
slowing down. He just keeps going.
I kept looking at it and I'm just like, he ain't got chicken legs. His legs, he's got tree trunk legs, so he ran about he ran a 5.3 for his 40 time. He's got tree trunk legs. He's got strength. He's got upper body strength. Imagine this man just looking at you. He really ain't got no neck. I mean, like you see Aaron Donald, like his neck got muscle on a muscle and then another muscle. And I'm just going to say it's scary. It's truly scary, because for all I can say right now is this: the Raiders, you get that on your D line, and Aaron Donald, Twyman sitting at like 311. That's a good move right there. You ain't got to go that high at D tackle. I mean, everybody likes Christian Barrymore. I do like Barrymore as well, but speed and strength, right? The explosive strength, yes. I want that. I want everybody to stop saying that, oh, this defense is terrible. That's all the defense is. I hate the defense. I'm tired of hearing that.
Hey, man,
I want this defense to flourish.
Let me tell you something, okay? Alabama defensive tackles are good. They're good. But the problem with the issue with Alabama defensive tackles is that they have all-world talent all around them. The guy next to him is as good as they are, if better. The guy behind him is as good as he is, if not better. The safeties are better. The corners are better. The linebackers are better. The defensive end is better or as good as they are. At Pitt, while you've heard a lot of the other players that were around Jalen Twyman, that's because he sat out this year. Jalen Twyman is that dude.
Imagine if he was playing this year with, I think it was Hunter and Patrick Jones II. Imagine if he was playing on that line this year.
Twyman is that dude. Aaron Donald has dominated the defensive line since coming into the league, and you mean to tell me that this guy right here broke all his records, his strength records, his on the field records, trains with him every offseason? That is the guy you want.
I can't argue with it. And most likely his stock is going to rise up. I want him. Raiders, I know Raider fans, we all seen it. We need a free safety. I'm hoping that the Raiders go and call Trey Boston back. I know they've reached out to him. I hope they can get an offer or a deal done on the table for him because he's had a solid track record, Phil. A track record that this secondary needs. He did good things back in 2017 with the Chargers, and then he went to Arizona, still kept doing good. And then you look at 28, he went back to Carolina for like the last 2 years, and it's been good. I think the Raiders need that in their secondary. The Raiders, you're getting guys like Jeff Heath. I mean, you can't be having Jeff Heath back there as a free safety, bro.
Jeff Heath is currently under contract. They didn't get him. He's still back there. And Jeff Heath is a guy who's a package guy. Anytime that Jeff Heath was on the field for more than the 30 to 40% of the defensive snap range, it resulted in tragedy. He's a niche guy. He's a cover 2, cover 4 kind of deep safety that has to cover just a half of the field at most, or a small zone, because he's just not physically fast enough to make it happen, or to come out and just cover these guys head up. But Trey Boston has played 16 games twice in his career, 15 games, 13 games. In fact, in the last 4 years, he's only missed 4 games. And that includes one of his best years with the Chargers under Bradley as the free safety, and his first year in Carolina. He gets his hands on the football a lot, he's looking at 42 passes defended in his career, along with 15 total interceptions. So the guy is a baller. And he's only 28. I thought he was a little older, but going back and checking these things, which is why you do it, he's still young. He's still physically able. And he can be the single high safety that we need to run Bradley's defense, because Bradley's coming in with the cover 3. We hear about the Tampa 2 that he was a part of with Gruden in Tampa Bay. And that's cool that he has that versatility. But what they need is a safety who's fast enough to cover the field and smart enough to see where he needs to be. And I would be scared to death of them signing another guy of a veteran, a smart veteran who can't make those physical plays because he's getting a little long in the tooth. But this guy, Trey Boston, hasn't he been a Pro Bowler before as well? I believe. Hold on, let me check.
I'm right. I got it right here.
Nope, not quite.
No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't. But he's been on his 2017 season was on the cusp.
Yeah.
And 2019 was nearly good enough to get him there as well.
I mean, during that time, you wasn't going to beat up your teammate Derwin James.
Yeah, there was that.
No, Derwin James, he was 2018. He was
rookie of the year. Yeah. But yeah.
I'm trying to think who was 2017. Might have been Earl Thomas, but anywho. Ooh. But going back, Raiders traded this week. They traded Rodney Hudson. Everybody's been wondering, why would you do that? Why would you get rid of Rodney Hudson? He's the best. He's this, he's that. He was unstoppable in the middle. I'm here to tell you guys, Rodney Hudson has slowed down. If some of you guys that love pro football focus, I tell you this, his numbers went down
considerably
from a 92 to a 70.
Considerably, and that's not even including his run grade. His run blocking has steadily declined over the last couple years.
I give you a prime example of how you knew that his run blocking had went down. When you look inside the red zone, you look at Gabe, and that was another thing. Gabe got traded too. These two guys on that right-hand side where they tried to run and tried to do run blocking in the red zone has not been successful.
Or short yardage situation, not just the red zone.
Yeah, because you look at, for example, you look at on your fullback dives, you're wondering, now how the hell is it Captain Obvious or they're just not blocking? You look closely at all 22, the run blocking has not been successful.
Not getting off the line.
They're either letting guys shoot the gap because they're not able to get there in time, or they're getting pushed back. And as someone that's played on the offensive line, if you're letting your man get the first step on you, you're not going to succeed. That play is already done.
Yep.
It's already got nicked in the bag. I'm going to tell you this right now. Someone that's played on the O-line as a center, as a guard, and a tackle, I've seen it before. If that guy gets past you, there's now a high 75 to 80% chance that play is dead. If you don't get the first step in engaging your man and drive him forward, backwards, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have one, he's going to be able to turn you and be able to cause a clusterfuck. Excuse my French. The second thing is you don't know if he's going to drive you back into the whole entire play, and it turns into a hot mess, turns into a hot fiasco, and your coach is grilling everybody, wondering why didn't this play become successful on 4th and inches? I don't really think these guys fit the scheme. We saw the performance from them later on when Gruden got there. They're not that fast.
Nope.
They're not fast. I don't think they can do this. So you look at their age. Gabe's 30. Rodney's going on 33. But then again, you look at Richie Incognito, you bring him back, but Richie could stay aggressive, and he wasn't getting driven back.
He also took a couple years off to keep the body fresh.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. Rodney was doing a lot of injuries, so seeing that he's getting traded, it's good that you got a draft pick out of him. You got a 3rd round pick out of him, and I think you got a 5th round pick out of Gabe Jackson. That's pretty damn good.
Considering they're picking up that $9.6 million of his contract.
You didn't go empty-handed.
Not at all.
So you got to be happy on how they handle the situation. It is what it is. This is a business. They went on and got they got Martin from Houston that plays center. They like Andre James. They've been doing with Andre James. They've been training him. They've been having him get extra reps because they knew sooner or later he's going to have to replace Rodney Hudson. So we're going to see some competition right here with Martin and James. And if James really wants it, he can be the new starting center. Now, you guys may not like it. That's because some of you guys might not understand it because you're not running the organization.
And
let's do the job. and let them figure out how things are going to play out. The Raiders did bring back Denzel Good. So the O-line is, in all honesty, right now is looking a lot better. I don't see it as a whole rebuild as some folks were saying. I don't see that it's a whole end of the world thing. Matter of fact, to help educate some folks on it, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything by saying that, but this was something that stuck out to me when they were talking about the offensive line. Let's see if I can pull it up right here.
Well, he's looking at that. You got it?
I got it right here. Yeah. All right. So look, this was come to find out when you do the numbers, number one paid unit in the NFL. So you're paying this offensive line top dollar, and y'all not making the playoffs. You're not able to score in the red zone. You're not able to convert on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, or 4th inches.
You're paying this line top dollar, and they're ranked 15th in pass protection and 20th.
They will rank 10th in pass protection for the win rate, and 27th ranked run block,
which is why you saw
27th, and you wonder why. You wonder why that Josh Jacobs is always beat up. Josh Jacobs trying to run through the gap. I can't run through there. I'm averaging 3.7 yards a carry because my line is not doing what it should be doing. 27th. Everybody said we have a top 10 deep. We have a top 10 offense. No, the hell you don't. If your offensive line is ranked 27, you got a damn problem
in the running game.
So let me educate you folks that think you know something. When you're not executing on your win rate and run blocking, and you have your top running back you drafted in the first round, you're not doing it right. You're not.
I'll take it a step further. And we'll really dive into this for everybody who's been talking about how bad the defense is. If your offensive line is the 27th ranked run blocking unit in the league, your defense is not getting a good enough look at what they need to beat in order to beat other teams. What you practice against is what makes you better. And if the line that you're practicing against sucks, conversely, so will your defensive line. It's all complimentary football. A lot of people will tell you to watch the tape. Well, let's watch the practice tape and let's see what they're doing in practice.
We're not done. I'm here. Here's the grill. Not one player ranked in the top 10 at the position for the win rate for pass blocking or run blocking. So are you guys saying that Rodney Hudson's a number one center or top 10 center? He's not anymore. When you look at Rodney Hudson, he went from allowing a 1.4% pressure rate to a 5.6 pressure rate.
Getting a little closer. Lydell was good. Pedro D.
Pedro, how you doing, man? I'm sorry, this is unacceptable.
So,
and don't get me started with Trent.
Well, we don't have to because Trent's no longer with us, and neither is his son. Said everybody was happy to see that guy. You even see beat reporters talking about they were so happy to unfollow him.
You know what's funny? Denzel Good was better than Gabe Jackson on that field.
I said that didn't we say that from the beginning? When Gabe was hurt, we were watching him sitting next to Trent and saying how that looked like a better right side of the offensive line without Gabe Jackson.
Now check this out. For everybody who's like, well, what else do we need for the defense? Quinton Jefferson was 7th for D-line in terms of pass rush win rate.
That's an original stat right there. It's almost like I said that about 20 minutes ago.
Y'all happy now?
Pull up Kevin's last tweet message, please.
Yeah, sure.
Speak on how the offensive line affects the red zone offense. Everything in the red zone happens much faster. There's no space. Guys can't get open. The guys won't have a lot of time to get open because, quite frankly, there's no field to work with. So either you got a quick hitting play or a timing play. And most importantly, the defense knows that they can sit there, they can sit all their pass coverage guys and come after you. Or more to the point, when you're in the red zone, you have to run the football. You have to push the defenses back, and they know it. They gear up, they get in their 4-point stances, they get a little bit lower, and then suddenly you're looking at big boy football. Big boy football wins football games, wins football championships. So,
if you're interested in where I'm getting all this stuff too, I got a site called Football Outsiders, and ESPN used their stats. NFL Network has used their analytics. Everybody always talks about Pro Football Focus, but there are guys that everybody else has been using for years, and these guys are spot on accurate. And yeah, you're gonna have to pay. I paid for that subscription. When he says if the Raiders don't make the playoffs again, some fans will blame the O-line rebuild instead of Carr. Well, here's the thing. You still have Miller. You got Incognito back. You had Denzel Good on that line. And you had, it's just a new center, and really your right tackle position, whoever's going to fill that spot, I mean, it was really vacant the last year and a half. So you really couldn't try to put that blame on the new touch-up on that O-line. Because if you find out that they're getting the win rate for run blocking, and they're getting the win rate the same, like at least top 10 in pass blocking, then now you go back and you look at, is it coming from the quarterback? Is it coming from your receivers dropping? And really, your receivers didn't drop anything. I mean, Aguilar had some drops, but, your receivers weren't dropping every single ball like New England was.
Not like years in the past, for sure.
Yeah. And, the thing of it is, if I can bring this up real quick for you guys, if you financially, we look at the numbers. I'll pull that out. I want each and every one of you guys to know. Ooh, I'm on the wrong one. Hold up. I apologize. Here we go. All right. So right now, if you look at how the Raiders' salary cap is, they've invested $90 million on the offense. The defense, they have now invested $85 million worth.
And they're not finished.
Exactly.
No, Jim, he did 40 reps at 225.
Yeah.
40.
40.
40.
Yeah, so you look at what the Raiders are doing. If you look at financially where they are with their salary cap, they're balanced. They are now, in a way, they are balanced. All by like about what, $5 million on the defense, but $90 million spent for the offense now, and now $85 million spent on the defense. I like it. They're, like you said, Phil, they're not done. And I'm going to also tell you this. To go back to Kenyon Drake, You needed that. John Gruden wants a 1-2 punch from Jacobs, and now Drake. You couldn't get that with Rashard or Washington when that first happened. You really couldn't. I mean, you were trying to get that with Booker. You know, you saw that there could have been something going on for Booker, but I want to be real. I actually like what Booker did, if in a business way. He said, I'm going to take the job with New York because Saquon Barkley, he can't stay healthy.
And let me be even realer. For as good as Booker was, Kenyon Drake is better. And not by a little bit either. Kenyon Drake is a lot better than Devontae Booker.
Exactly, man. He had about 1,000 yards? He about
5 yards, 10 touchdowns, 127 receiving yards. Yes, Kenyon Drake is a lot better than Devontae Booker. Average 4.6 yards.
Like this, Phil. I'm sorry, because I'm so amped up right now from I didn't get any sleep last night, you guys, and I was just looking at everybody's film, looking at Kenyon Drake's film, looked at John Brown's film. I'm going to say this. With Drake, if you are utilizing this right, that's why you have a younger O-line that can move their feet. They have speed. Raiders can have 1,000-yard back, and I've said this before. They can have 1,000-yard back in Josh Jacobs, and Kenyon Drake could actually average up to about 800 yards rushing.
Depending on how good they are, you might actually have 2,000-yard backs, much like what they got going on in Cleveland. Kenyon Drake's vision is outstanding. Absolutely. And not only that, but his 40 time is 0.2 of a second faster than Josh Jacobs. He hits the hole, and when you see, and the best part about him is once he gets out in open space, ain't nobody catching him.
No.
You are not catching Kenyon Drake from behind.
His stride is fascinating.
And he went through arm tackles in open field, like where you see a lot of guys get tripped up when they get an ankle hooked or a leg swiped. He keeps going. And that is definitely something to be amazed at, to watch for. Breaking arm tackles at the second and third levels. That's the difference between scoring and having a long game. And he does that. 2 Alabama backs in the backfield. A lot of people said, oh, well, let's draft Najee Harris. I like Najee Harris. But the production that you're getting from Kenyon Drake for the price is outstanding. That is currently the best free agent signing of the year.
And, you hear a lot of people saying, you hear a lot of these reporters say, I don't understand what the Raiders are doing.
It's better. That's what they're doing.
If I'm the Raiders, I'm glad. I don't want nobody to understand what I'm doing. I don't want anybody to understand what I'm doing, because you know what? Word gets around and then you get figured out. I want people to be surprised. I want people to keep guessing and trying to figure out what we're going to be doing this year, instead of the obvious of what we're doing right here and doing there and what we did the year before. We don't know what Gus Bradley might even throw. He might throw like a little hook. He might throw a little hook around. And I'm going to tell you guys this. I've been looking at how some of the boards been going. If we're looking at the draft wise, I'm going to throw this at you guys right now. Phil, Michael Parsons.
Micah Parsons.
Did I say Michael or Micah?
You said Michael. It's Micah.
I'm sorry. Micah Parsons. Now you add that to your defense.
Been dropping, Kevin.
Surprisingly.
Been dropping.
So look, Kevin said he's not going to be there. the thing of it is, the boards are they're shifting. There's a lot of teams that are trying to snag O linemen. I didn't think he was going to be there, but the way they have analyzed everybody after their pro day, they got him being there.
So everybody, shh, don't say nothing. Let him continue to drop, because there is a lot of there's a lot of linebackers in this draft that were ranked up there at the top 10 that seem to be sliding down. JOK is one. Micah Parsons. One name you've heard absolutely none of has been Zaven Collins. We started out hearing this guy was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and now his name can't get mentioned.
So look, the Draft Network, they did a whole different update on their board this week after everything, at the end of majority top pro days. You still got Trevor Lawrence going at quarterback. They feel, and somebody else told me late last night that the Jets still feel comfortable going with Sam Darnold. They just need to give Darnold protection. You're looking at Miami, they want to get a wide receiver. Falcons, they need to either go edge rusher, or they need to go offensive line. You got the Bengals, they need an offensive lineman. Eagles don't know where they're going, and they want to go quarterback. Detroit needs a wide receiver. With the whole thing with you hearing the Panthers saying that they wanted to trade for Deshaun Watson, which clearly isn't going to happen right now, they're going to end up getting, I don't know, a guy that we wanted, Trey Lance, because Trey Lance had an excellent pro day. Denver, they could go either way. They could go if Denver goes quarterback, they're a lost cause.
Man, they're picking Mac Brown.
Dallas, they needed help in that secondary. They probably go Patrick Surtain. You look at the Giants, they might get it. I mean, they could use Kyle Pitts. They need more offensive weapons.
They're in talks with Kenny Golladay at $18.5 million.
Yeah.
They should do it. They should stop talking and pay him. They need to get a guy. They need to get a guy out there for Daniel Jones desperately. I talked a lot.
You look at the 49ers, they need defensive help. That secondary.
They need secondary.
The cornerback, yeah.
Quarterback. They need quarterback.
See, now everybody says they need a quarterback.
This is my backyard, homie. They need a quarterback.
You need to protect the quarterback, because it seems like all your quarterbacks get hurt with the lack of protection.
So you have it with the signings of Alex Mack and Trent Williams. They have invested in their offensive line.
So maybe they're going to. I mean, you got to look at that contract with Garoppolo. You got to look at the contract.
He can be cut. It will only be $2.8 million against the cap. They need a quarterback, like I said.
All right, then. So maybe it's that, but I say they need a corner.
They do need one of those two. Don't get me wrong, they do. But what's limiting their offense now is the fact that their starting quarterback they're paying all that money to can't stay healthy and is a middle of the pack guy. They got by with the Super Bowl run because his defense was out of this fucking world.
What happened to the defense this last year?
Injury. And the points.
If you know you can get by with that defense with a middle ground quarterback, then.
And in all actuality, while they did fall off, they fell off to 5th. They were still up there, but they lost Robert Saleh, so it's going to be a question.
Secondary was ass.
It was. I'm not going to lie. So, it was, but they lost their defensive coordinator, so it's a coin flip now on what you get.
You look at the Chargers; they need offensive line, or they're probably going to end up getting an edge rusher, especially replacing Melvin Ingram.
Ingram, yes.
Vikings, they need O-line. That O-line has been in shambles for the past 2 years. They need something that's going to hold up. You look at the Patriots. You look at what the moves they made on defense. You look at some of the moves they made on offense. They got Nelson Aguilar. Hey, go on and give another guy on the opposite side. Let's go on and they can get Devontae Smith. And I'm going to tell you this. I keep telling people, I knew this was going to happen. Cardinals get Najee Harris. They need a running back.
Nah. Yeah. Well, if they draft him in the first round, yes, I don't see Harris making it past Buffalo.
So, with that being said, who's sitting there on the board? Micah Parsons.
And tell me about Micah Parsons. Where's he from?
Penn State University.
What do they do at Penn State aside from touching little boys?
Oh, shut up. Linebackers. Them linebackers, I tell you that, boy. You know, them linebackers, they know how to hurt people.
Special.
They gotta knock your dick in the dirt. I tell you that. You gonna get yourself a linebacker, boy. Ooh.
Out of Penn State, you got yourself a linebacker.
I had Slater going at 4, man. Slater went to the Falcons.
4 or 5. He's not gonna pass. He's not gonna pass Cincinnati.
Did you see that 40 time he did? Oh, Slater then climbed up to the top.
Moving.
If you look at all these teams, like if you look at the Falcons now, with the Saints probably going to end up drooping and struggling for a while. Falcons like, damn, I just need somebody to keep Matt Ryan up, and we can try to compete with Tampa Bay. But they definitely got to go get some defensive guys too.
They don't need to do a lot on defense to keep up with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but
a lot.
Like I said, Michael Parsons is going to be sitting there right there for us. And if he's sitting right there for us, damn it, Raiders, you got to grab him.
Who does he replace?
Who does he replace?
Who does he replace?
Well, that will be decided by Mr. Gus Bradley.
Oh, he ducked it. He smooth ducked it. He ducked it. You ain't shit. You ain't shit.
I mean, who would you say replace?
I asked the first motherfucker. You ducked it.
Yeah.
I'll answer it. Who would he replace? It would be a battle, but I would believe it'd be one of the two outside guys. I don't think he replaces Kwiatkowski. I think that more likely than not.
Now, hold on now. With Michael Parsons lines up on that. He lines up on the outside. We already know that.
We do. But we don't know what Bradley's. We have an idea, but he moves guys and shows multiple fronts. And so what you could see is him getting tried out at every position just to see what he can do. With a larger defensive line, if he can run freely, having him in the middle would not be the worst idea either. But I would prefer to see him probably taking Littleton's job.
Or
I'd like to see
Kevin has said Leo. He done said Leo about 4 or 5 damn times. And if he's saying Leo,
he ain't taking the Leo spot. He's not taking the Leo spot.
We don't need no middle linebacker. We got Kwiatkowski at middle linebacker. I'll tell you that.
That's what I just said.
In other words, Raiders are stacked. If that happens, Raiders will be stacked. Any news on Mariota? We knew that it was coming down to a deal or no deal on a restructure. Have we heard any updates, or are we just sitting at the phone,
wondering,
watching, and waiting?
We have until Monday, I believe, which would lead me to believe that Mariota's agent is feverishly calling around to see if, in fact, he will have an opportunity to be the guy for somebody else, or if he's going to have to take that pay cut and accept what the Raiders are offering to be a backup, which I still think is probably at this stage the best thing that he can do for his career.
To be honest, if I'm him, you already got a full year knowing what Gruden's playbook is. And shit, if he can go off, let him go off in camp. He didn't go off in camp because he was out. Wasn't fully recovered.
And let him work, fine-tune some of his short yardage throws, get his timing and rhythm down better. For everybody who said Carr still hasn't been extended, so for everybody who says, "Oh, that's our guy," Carr is coming up. This is coming to the where the rubber meets the road, because after this year, his contract comes up with a $0 cap hit.
What's that? What did he do then when they get you like
throwing up the oh.
But I mean, if you look at it,
not have another white safety. You said it, not me. But
why? I love you guys. Y'all crack me up, bro. Y'all crack me up. But I mean,
I hope not. I love Richard Sherman. Well, I was about to say Seymour. I love Sherm. I really do. Everything stands for Sherman. But he's physically limited, and quite frankly, we don't need another guy who can come in and be a rah-rah leader from the sidelines. We need a guy who can come in and do it on the field.
So check this out. So that was another thing. Somebody was like, Rich said everybody's taking pay cuts, but Derek Carr. I mean, then that leads into the talks of, well, if he takes a pay cut, we want an extension.
Yep.
That's the language you are not ready to get into, because you're like, let's go on and just utilize his contract up and then get another guy.
Yep.
But you don't want to be like, well, let's go on and get such and such extension for another 2 years. No. And it's real funny, because when you hear certain agents run around and try to start rumors, that's real hilarious, Phil. It really is.
Love these rumors surrounding me every day.
Speaking about, like lawyer talk and lies, I'm going to hit on this real quick, because this is the Unfiltered Truth, and I don't give a damn
about that shit.
Show.
We do this.
So, as we all know, we know the whole situation with Deshaun Watson. We know that there have been 22 women that have came out and said he's done this and that. Now, if he has, I'm greatly disappointed in him, and that's a hard look. And then you look at, if these women have lied, and this lawyer is, when you look at the background on them, neighbors and friends with the McNairs, and he said that he went to Houston PD, whereas Houston PD came out and said this yesterday evening. At this time, HPD
put it up on the screen
of any contact between them and Tony Busby, who's that attorney. regarding the allegations contained in his recently filed lawsuits, and no incident reports regarding these allegations have been filed in our jurisdiction. That's a big lie.
Big.
Like you looking at this lawyer like, why you always lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Why you lying?
Which means that in this particular situation, and I was watching a little bit of the BSM show, is that the lawyer is attempting to try his case in the court of public perception.
Yeah.
There's no physical evidence, no evidence past hearsay and circumstantial evidence, and all in their word versus his, and hoping that he can bring forth enough women so that it will bolster the case that he does not have at this time. He has not presented. We'll say that he will not.
Well, here, I give you this on what BSM was talking about.
Yes.
And I was reaching out like a couple folks I know that in law enforcement and whatnot. But basically, yeah, the categories are written in question. They're basically under that level 2 discovery. So it's basically like 25 written questions where you're basically interrogating the defendant and trying to get this, and this for him to tell you this or that, and see what truth comes out that matches the case. Really just trying to identify any information that are in the document. But I tell you this, with this situation, it could take up to about 450 days.
Better love.
But I think, didn't they come out and say that we had an update today that Watson was going to, I think I got it right here. There was an update to it. Deshaun Watson reportedly will explain that he was trying to get a massage therapist during COVID-19. But like I said, this is really not adding up. Really isn't. The timing's off. But like I said, if it did happen, I'm disappointed. If it didn't happen, I'm pissed. Because I done been in situations where I've had someone try to falsely accuse me of something and nearly ruin me for my image and psychologically. I'm going to tell you this. Doing that to a man, especially a black man, that is the worst. The worst. So I get why David Mongetta has said the things that he said in that tweet yesterday. But he is innocent till proven guilty. I've been seeing some of these certain reporters been coming out and making the whole we're going to do the smear campaign on him. And I'm going to say this. For some of the things that they've said, I'm going to call them out on it once this ends.
Absolutely.
If it ends where Deshaun Watson is innocent and they didn't said the shit they didn't said,
they got an answer for that.
I'm going to call them out and say, how dare you? You ain't shit. I will drag you through the mud like you tried to drag him. But if he did, I'm not going to say a damn thing, but just shake my head Be like, it's a damn shame. You know? But it is what it is. Jonathan Hankins just officially signed his contract. The one thing, I think some of you guys knew Derek Carrier re-signed. I'm just, ugh. Yeah. But as Kevin says, you just signing him. He might not make it through camp.
Well, he's managed to make it through a lot of camps, and he's
I'm telling you,
and averaging about 4 receptions a year.
You gotta tell me how he did that, bro.
Rich Bisaccia, I guess, from what has been said, is that he's a core special teamer. I gotta believe you could find another guy to block it cheaper than $1 million a year who doesn't catch any football or contribute offensively or defensively. But what the hell do I know? Special teams is a phase of the game, and you do need to make sure that your special teams are solid. So you got him, coach.
But I think this year, look, as of right now, and here's one thing that kind of just stuck out to me, Phil. Your O-line could be this: Miller, Incognito, James, Simpson, good.
Simpson showed a lot of promise. He was good. He was rookie, obviously, so he needs a little bit more Laurie seasoning on him and a little bit of that cable love. But in terms of size and body type and what they could be asking the team to do, the offense to do, I don't see where he won't fit in, how he can't make it happen. In his appearances last year, he held up at pretty well. Not gonna say that he was great, because I mean he was a rookie, obviously, but in terms of what they're getting, what they've seen production wise versus all the money that they are no longer paying out, it's a good balance. It's a great balance. It's actually where it needs to be. And while I had my reservations about where this team was going with their free agency moves, they have indeed had a plan. They've stuck to it, and they've made moves that are to the benefit of their franchise and football team.
Or it's time to see, as my friend Charlie says, Brandon Parker, the God.
You invested a 3rd-round pick in Brandon Parker. He's got the size. He's got the strength. His blocking has improved. His footwork looks a lot cleaner than it has in years. And in the games that he was out there, he did not look like a liability. He had one game that it looked a little suspect. But at this stage, it goes back to what we've been saying for a while now about developing your talent. When you draft guys in the 3rd round and you sit them for 3 years, then they damn sure better be able to fucking start.
Yeah, and like I said, like you said, Brandon Parker, you put in a 3rd-round pick for him. It's time to see what you got as a starter now.
Got another 6'8", 330 plus pound monster out there. 320.
Yeah.
So he dropped a little bit of weight.
So he ain't getting beat around the edge.
Ideally, you look at him, his steps out to the right aren't what you want them to be, but moving to his left, he's much, much better at.
Yeah, so when you had a lot of plays where if you didn't have that edge kicked out wide, or if he was if it was inside the DN, he was able to turn them off that first step using that left foot. I noticed a couple of times when he played right tackle, but I think he's starting to get the hang off kicking that right foot out when he's on the outside on that right tackle side.
Been working that kick step.
Yeah. But I think he can get it now. I think that Parker understands that he can't let anybody beat him on that side anymore. I have confidence in him now after what I saw from him, how he had to step in for Trent Brown, even Sam Young, the walking injury report, stepped in for him a handful of times. So when I saw how Brandon Parker was willing to step up and try to give as much protection as possible, there's hope for him. That's what told me last year. There was hope for him. I'm going to go back and look at some film off of Parker from last year. But I think he might end up being the guy this year where you don't have to really – I mean, you can still draft the offensive tackle in the later rounds, but this might be your starting right tackle this year. So right now, the Raiders need to grab one more corner.
They got their slot corner.
Shut up.
This particular coaching staff believes in Isaiah Johnson, so we'll see what they get out of him. If they can in fact develop him and get him, because he's a Sherman type physical clone.
So you put then that being said, then you put Isaiah. Yeah, so you put Isaiah Johnson on the outside, and then you have Arnett inside that slot. Maybe Arnett is better in the slot.
Maybe perhaps because he needs not be on those big huge guys out wide. He can do it, but I would prefer to see him on a smaller receiver and see how that works out. But but then if you do that, then you no longer need an extra corner. You just need to continue to work with the guys that you have and move your focus towards safety. Safety is the glaring hole on this defense right now.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes. They could draft a safety at 17 from TCU, but I prefer Richie Grant. He'll be the better option. But other than that, we've been rapping for about nearly an hour and 30. It's been fun. Appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. I know if you're on Periscope, you had little technical difficulties. And like I said, you guys I put the link up on my Twitter. You guys can go on the Facebook page for the Unfiltered Truth. You guys can recap the shows on there, especially on our YouTube page. So as always, as I always say, subscribe to the Unfiltered Truth on YouTube. You can recap every episode that we've had. And as always, the group that is supporting us, the Creative Young Minds, follow them on Twitter at CYM Basketball. You can follow them on Instagram at CYM Louisville Leopards and Facebook at CYM B-Ball. And if you're looking to watch the games, and I highly recommend that you guys watch the games, creatingyoungminds.uscreen.io, where you can watch the entire season going on and recap some of the games that you have missed. I guarantee you're getting your money's worth watching these games. These young men know how to play basketball. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, you guys enjoy your stimmies. Enjoy your beers. Enjoy your birria tacos.
Birria. It's good stuff right there.
Had me a You guys enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Please wear a mask. If you got your shot, don't do anything crazy yet until you get your second one. Or if you got your second one, wait your And still wear a mask, okay? I want you guys alive and well. And that's the only way we're going to be able to be in the stadiums this season.
Well, for some of you anyway, I'm on my way to Cal for the spring game shortly after the conclusion of this show because I got college football to watch and evaluate.
That's true. And like me, I got my shot. I get my next one April 7th. So
watch his forehead. Make sure that you don't see a second face sprouting out of it.
Well, you know,
Make sure he doesn't have a tail growing.
Because we're going to be out in Vegas. We're going to be there for Pepe Palooza.
Pepe Palooza as the
Pepe Palooza.
See the Unfiltered Truth live in the flesh, in our native element with the people.
Most likely somebody's jumping from a balcony into the pool.
Ah,
Fire at Pepe Palooza.
And so we'll be in Vegas, so the likelihood of it getting shut down will be low.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm Phil Jones. That's Phil Robinson III.
And we are the Unfiltered Truth.
Are we the Unfiltered Truth, or this is the Unfiltered Truth? Either way,
we are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We really.
We doing it.
We doing it.
We doing it.
All right. We are the Unfiltered Truth. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We're out.
God bless.